The vast, lonely ranch stretches under a gray, stormy sky. A lone rancher, weathered and rugged in a brown coat and boots, rides his horse across the dusty plains. His face is etched with years of solitude, his eyes scanning the horizon. Thunder rumbles as dark clouds gather, hinting at the turmoil to come. The wind whips through the dry grass, carrying an eerie silence. Suddenly, a faint cry pierces the air, drawing his attention to a distant tree. His heart quickens as he urges his horse forward, unsure of what he'll find. As he approaches, the rancher's eyes widen in horror. A young Apache girl, no older than 12, hangs limply from a tree branch, her wrists bound with coarse rope. A crude wooden sign dangles below her, the words, "White man don't forgive," scrawled in jagged letters. Her dark braids sway in the wind, and her dress is torn, revealing bruises. The rancher dismounts, his hands trembling as he reaches for his knife to cut her down. The storm intensifies, rain beginning to fall, mirroring his growing dread. With a swift cut, the rope snaps, and the girl collapses into his arms. She's barely conscious, her breathing shallow. The rancher cradles her, shielding her from the rain with his coat. His mind races. Why was she left here? Who did this? The sign's message gnaws at him, stirring memories of old conflicts between settlers and the Apache. He glances around, half expecting an ambush, but the plains remain desolate. He lifts her onto his horse, determined to save her life. Back at his modest ranch house, the rancher lays the girl on a worn wooden table. The fire crackles in the hearth, casting a warm glow over the room. He fetches a bowl of water and a cloth, gently cleaning the dirt and blood from her face. Her eyes flutter open, dark and fearful, meeting his. He speaks softly, "You're safe now," though he knows trust won't come easy. The storm rages outside, rattling the windows, as he tends to her wounds with careful hands. The girl remains silent, her gaze fixed on the rancher with suspicion. He offers her a piece of bread, which she hesitates to take, her fingers trembling. The room is filled with the scent of burning wood and damp earth. He sits nearby, giving her space, his own thoughts haunted by the sign's words. Was this an act of vengeance? A warning? The fire pops, and he notices her flinch, a reminder of her trauma. He vows to protect her, no matter the cost. Days pass, and the girl, whom he names Little Feather, begins to recover. She sits by the fire, wrapped in a blanket, her eyes still wary. The rancher teaches her simple words in English, and she responds with nods or faint smiles. Outside, the storm has cleared, leaving a crisp morning. He works the land, keeping her in sight, sensing her fear of being alone. The sign's message lingers in his mind, a shadow over their fragile bond. One evening, as the sun sets, Little Feather points to a drawing she's made in the dirt, stick figures with bows and arrows attacking a lone man. The rancher realizes it's her memory of the attack. His jaw tightens, he knows Apache warriors might come for her. He checks his rifle, preparing for trouble. The sky turns a deep orange, casting long shadows across the ranch. He decides to teach her to hide if danger comes, her safety his priority. The next morning, hoofbeats echo in the distance. The rancher peers out, spotting 3 Apache riders approaching. His heart pounds as he ushers Little Feather into a hidden cellar. She clings to him briefly before disappearing into the dark. He steps outside, rifle in hand, facing the warriors. Their leader, a stern man with painted cheeks, demands to know about the girl. The rancher stands firm, ready to defend her. The Apache leader dismounts, his eyes piercing. "She is our blood," he says in broken English. The rancher explains how he found her, showing the sign as proof. The leader's expression softens slightly, but mistrust lingers. They speak of a raid gone wrong, where settlers retaliated against their village. The rancher offers to return her, but only if they promise peace. The tension hangs thick, the wind carrying their words. An agreement is reached. Little Feather will go with her people, but the rancher will accompany them to ensure her safety. He packs supplies, his heart heavy at losing her company. Little Feather emerges from the cellar, her eyes wet but resolute. She hugs him briefly, a silent thank you. The Apache warriors mount up, and the rancher follows on his horse, the sign tucked away as a grim reminder. The journey to the Apache camp is tense. The plains stretch endlessly, dotted with sagebrush and rocky outcrops. The rancher rides beside Little Feather, who clings to her blanket. The warriors watch him closely, their hands near their weapons. He notices scars on their arms, stories of survival. The sun beats down, and dust rises with each step. He wonders if he's doing the right thing, his loyalty torn. At the camp, teepees dot a valley near a stream. Women and children emerge, their faces lighting up at seeing Little Feather. The rancher is greeted with cautious nods. The leader invites him to sit by a fire, where they share a meal of roasted meat. Little Feather translates, explaining his kindness. The rancher feels a flicker of acceptance, the signs hate fading in the warmth of their hospitality. Night falls, and the camp comes alive with drumming and chants. Little Feather dances with the others, her spirit rekindled. The rancher watches, a smile breaking through his stoic facade. The leader offers him a pipe, a gesture of peace. Smoke curls into the starry sky, and for a moment, the past's wounds seem to heal. He realizes this bond might bridge the divide between their worlds. The next day, the rancher prepares to leave. Little Feather gifts him a beaded bracelet, a token of their friendship. The Apache leader shakes his hand, promising no more violence. The rancher mounts his horse, glancing back at the girl who's found her home. The plains stretch before him, now less lonely. The sign's message feels distant, replaced by hope for a new understanding. Riding back, the rancher reflects on the journey. The bracelet jingles on his wrist, a reminder of Little Feather. The sky is clear, the storm long gone. He thinks of the sign, "White man don't forgive," and how he chose a different path. His ranch awaits, but his heart carries a new story. The wind whispers through the grass, and he feels a sense of peace, knowing he made a difference. Back at the ranch, the rancher hangs the sign on his wall, a stark contrast to the bracelet. It's a reminder of the hate he overcame. He tends to his cattle, the routine familiar yet changed. The fire crackles at night, and he imagines Little Feather safe with her people. The memory strengthens him, a quiet resolve growing within. The plains remain vast, but he's no longer alone in spirit. Weeks later, a trader brings news of a truce between settlers and the Apache. The rancher smiles, knowing his actions helped. He works the land with renewed purpose, the bracelet a constant companion. The sign on the wall fades with time, its message losing power. The fire warms his home, and he hums a tune he heard at the camp. Hope has taken root in his lonely heart. One evening, a lone Apache rider arrives, bearing a letter from Little Feather. It's a crude drawing of her family and him, with a heart. The rancher's eyes mist over as he traces the lines. The rider nods and leaves, a silent bond reaffirmed. He pins the drawing beside the sign, a symbol of reconciliation. The fire glows, and he feels a deep gratitude for the girl who changed his life. The rancher decides to visit the Apache camp again, bringing gifts of tools and cloth. The journey is lighter this time, the plains welcoming. Little Feather runs to greet him, her laughter filling the air. The camp buzzes with activity, and he's treated as a friend. The leader shares stories, and the rancher listens, learning their ways. The sign's shadow is gone, replaced by mutual respect. As he prepares to leave, Little Feather gives him a small carved horse. "For your journey," she says in halting English. The rancher thanks her, his voice thick with emotion. The Apache bid him farewell, and he rides off, the gifts a bridge between their worlds. The sky is golden, the plains alive with possibility. He knows he'll return, the loneliness erased. At home, the rancher adds the carved horse to his collection. The sign, drawing, and bracelet form a narrative on his wall. He sits by the fire, the warmth a reflection of his heart. The plains outside are quiet, but his spirit is full. He writes a letter to Little Feather, promising to visit again. The wind carries his hope, a new chapter beginning. Months pass, and the rancher's life blends with the Apaches. He trades with them, sharing crops for crafts. Little Feather visits occasionally, her English improving. The sign remains a relic, its message a lesson learned. The fire crackles, and he tells her stories of his youth. Their laughter echoes, a sound he once thought lost. The plains hold a new harmony. One day, a settler arrives, curious about the rancher's Apache friends. He shows the sign, explaining its history. The settler listens, his prejudice softening. The rancher invites him to the camp, a chance for understanding. The journey is tense but hopeful. Little Feather greets them, and the settler sees her humanity. The sign's hate fades further. At the camp, the settler joins a feast, sharing bread with the Apache. The rancher watches, proud of the change he sparked. Little Feather dances, and the settler claps along. The leader offers a handshake, a truce extending beyond the ranch. The fire glows, and the plains seem smaller, connected by goodwill. The sign's legacy is rewritten. Returning home, the rancher and settler plan a joint harvest. The Apache join, their skills complementing the settlers. The fields thrive, a symbol of unity. Little Feather helps, her laughter a constant. The sign on the wall is overshadowed by new memories. The fire warms them all, a shared hearth. The plains bloom with cooperation. Years later, the rancher, now older, looks at his wall. The sign is weathered, but the drawing and gifts shine. Little Feather, now a young woman, visits with her family. The camp and ranch are allies, a legacy of that stormy day. The fire crackles, and he smiles, content. The plains stretch on, but he's part of a larger community. As night falls, the rancher tells Little Feather's children the story. They listen, wide-eyed, as the fire casts shadows. The sign is a tale of the past, overcome by friendship. The bracelet jingles, and the carved horse stands proud. The plains are silent, but the room is alive with hope. He knows his loneliness is gone forever. The rancher passes the bracelet to Little Feather's son, a new guardian of their bond. The sign is removed, its purpose served. The fire dies down, but the warmth remains. The plains await the next generation, united by his choice. He closes his eyes, at peace, knowing love conquered hate. The story ends, but its echo lives on.